Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm your game bastard, Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.
Tonight we're playing something heretical that I swore I would never do. We're playing a diceless role-playing game.
Well,
What?
we technically have. We played Jane Austen.
That's true. This is the second time I've ventured into dark waters.
Well,
No, we're playing Necrobiotic, a game from Penny for a Tale that was fully funded on Kickstarter in 2021. And it does not use dice. It uses cards. And you can play with any standard deck of cards. You don't have to get a special deck from them or anything.
Yeah, it's a really interesting system.
You will not be hearing dice. You'll be hearing this.
there you go.
That's no.
Todd, you could be in Bjork's band.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Based on your stats, you build a specific deck of cards for your character. I won't go into how that plays out because you can get the free quick start on Drive-Thru RPG, which is what we're using, and it explains how that works. At the beginning of the game, you draw 6 cards from your deck. That's your breath, and whenever your character wants to do something, you play one of those cards. Now, your character has skills, like in most other games, and if you're doing something that you're skilled at, you can play 2 cards. And your goal is to get a success, at least one success. So there's 2 ways to succeed, or rather there's 2 ways to generate successes. And you can generate more than one success on any given action. There's the value success and a suit success. So if you have let's say you have a combat skill, which is suit of diamonds, you play a diamond, that's a success, automatic, out the gate.
Doesn't matter what the numerical value is. If it's a diamond, it's a success.
You can also play a number of cards to equal a value of 8 or more, and that's another success. And those can combine.
That can be offsuit. Like if
Yes.
you have a 4 of diamonds, you're trying to get to 8, you could play a spade of 4 or more and be successful.
Yeah.
And you'd wind up actually having 2 successes.
So if you have a skill, if you have training in a specific skill, you can play 2 cards from your hand. If you don't, you can just play 1. But you can also do what's called pushing the limit. And if you're not happy with what you've played so far, you can discard 1 card from your hand to play another one. And there's other mechanics for, of course, refreshing your deck, what happens when you run out of cards. But we'll get to those rules if we get to them. But overall, I mean, it's not super complicated. The core rules are pretty straightforward. Now, they do add in some complexity. There's different things you can do with successes, combat actions, but that's beyond the scope of this brief introductory part.
And we have inventory, weapons, and other things that we've got all the stats for here.
Yeah, well,
special abilities. And before we get into character introduction, this game was brought to us by a local person here in our town of Paducah, Kentucky. Holly, I'm going to butcher this one. Holly Ziegelmeyer Tremblay. Thank you, Holly. She did some work in this game.
Yeah, she actually did some writing for this game.
And she did the 3D motion capture, too.
she mocap.
Yeah.
She's
after the playing cards.
She's the Andy Serkis of Paducah.
Yes.
But, I mean, as always, they didn't use it.
Bless you. Thank you. Well, thank you, Holly, for bringing this game to our attention. We're incredibly happy to play a game with some local involvement here.
Yeah.
Yeah, any local connection to Paducah, we'll play your game.
Yeah, and if you own a bourbon bar, we'll also be your friend.
We are actually playing this from the bathroom of Barrel and Bond this evening.
Speaking of necrobiotic.
Yeah. So let's talk about your characters.
Yeah, we're using the pre-generated characters that came with the starter kit here.
Yes.
My character is an architect. Goes by the name of Mike Brady.
Okay.
Architects in the future in the necrobiotic society, they have mastered the basics of tanning corpses.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a big thing in the necrobiotic world.
Yes.
It's like, because if I understand it correctly, the dead are basically like drones. They're like the labor.
Yeah.
In this world.
One of the central tenets of the setting is that in the future society has repurposed the dead as automatons.
Yes. And I'm also skilled in medicine and pharmacy as, once again, an architect.
Well,
I mean, who can forget all of the many variety of medications that were gifted to us by Frank Lloyd Wright.
yes, of course.
But yeah, that's kind of the architect's deal. And we
tanning.
have
So tanning, he's just making them look more alive. Is that like tanning bedding them? Is that what that means?
you know what? I'm not exactly sure. What I picture, it's more of like a taxidermy kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be leather working type.
Yeah, it's like,
where he's taking the skin and making it into more of a
yeah,
covering.
Imagine a corpse, but its skin is like a belt.
Yeah, okay.
Like a leather belt.
I don't want to.
Corinthian leather skin.
Yes.
I don't want to think of Meemaw in that way, but fine.
Yeah, I mean the future of Necrobiotic is kind of dark.
It's bleak. Meemaw's a belt. Uncle Chuck's my suspenders.
But the architect character is essentially the technician of
Yes.
Not undead is the wrong word because they're not undead.
Yeah,
They're dead.
Let's go, Daddy Cowboy Boots.
Yeah.
I believe they call them constructs in
Constructs.
the world of the game.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, so I mean, architect. One of the things it says under like my description is, like any architect, you are a surgeon. So I mean, obviously,
The term has changed in the Necrobiotic future.
Yeah.
my favorite thing about my character is we were able to choose special abilities.
Yes.
And the ability that I chose was Iron Stomach. I can eat anything,
Well,
even if like I ingest poison or toxins. Perfectly fine.
I assume that's related to the tanning.
That's related to the fact that I'm an alcoholic.
Oh, well.
And that's Mike Brady, architect.
I forgot that his name was Mike Brady.
It's the only other architect I could think of.
Austin, what about your character?
So my character's name is Razor. He's what's known as a technophant.
Wait, is he a DJ?
You've received training as a recruit from the techno-powered division of the Army. You know how to move in perfect symbiosis with your techno-powered armor, making you a moving weapon. So I'm kind of the tank of the group.
When he walks.
That's what my hydraulics
He's in a
sound
mech
like.
suit.
Is it the Daft Punk helmet?
Yes,
Just
awesome.
absolutely. Everything's like mirror surfaced. I look like Mark I in Iron Man.
So your character is commando.
Yes,
type.
basically. I've got a lot of skills in everything from martial arts to soothing words.
I mean, it's kind of sounding like lizard lips, to be honest.
Your words are soothing by staying a night with a patient. You can remove a first flesh or steam trauma.
Wait a second. So, you work in a hospice?
He's a combination of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando and Philip Seymour Hoffman in Magnolia.
Oh, I was going to say in Patch Adams.
Yeah.
But yeah, skilled in everything from techno-powered combat to armament maintenance and martial arts and, of course, soothing words. Since I did pick both of the special abilities that go with my character, I have martial arts and soothing words, I also get a disadvantage card, which is known as, it's not a card, but it's an attribute known as garish. You bear the conspicuous scars of a death averted at the last second with makeshift treatments, meaning I had probably whatever machinery powers my suit kind of glommed onto me at the last second before I was about to die.
So what he's talking about is, at least in the quick start, each of the pre-generated characters has two special abilities, and those are keyed to the Jack or the Queen card. Now, you can pick one of those, and you're good.
As I did.
If you pick both of them, for example, if you have both the Queen and Jack in your deck, you then have to take the King, which is the negative ability that Austin was just talking about, and that goes in your deck as well.
Yeah, I kind of compare it to in the Essence system, if you pick more than one influence, you have to take a hang-up.
Yeah, it's similar. I think that's cool. I love having bad things.
Yeah, that helps me define my character a little bit more.
Corey, I'm almost afraid to ask.
What the fuck? Never done anything weird on here.
Tell us about your character.
My character is part of the militia. I've named him Noah
Oh, no.
because the bourbon in front of me had Noah on it. we're drinking Noah's Mill, and I was struggling to find a name, so I was like, okay. Basically, some of the notes on him: he's a guardian of law. He's basically kind of a detective, is what I'm kind of going off of here as far as his character description of what militia is, but also a jurist and in the trial a prosecutor. So he's kind of
Wait, he's both in the jury and the prosecutor
I'm getting
box?
a bit of a Judge Dredd vibe from him, but he's a little different.
Look, it's the future. There's
Yeah.
population is reduced. People have to wear many hats, Austin.
Right.
In the jury box, there's just a bunch of corpses posed
And Noah.
in all perpetuity.
Noah's often been pushed aside in his group, in his industry, and in the community. He's often harassed and hindered. He's basically a hard-boiled cop in this nightmare world, is basically what I'm kind of going off of. Noirish.
Well, so let's talk about the nightmare world. The default game of Necrobiotic takes place in Florence, Italy. You're part of the Florence Scientific Empire. It is a regional power. There's a lot of cool art in the book, which is very steampunk vibe, very...
Yeah, it's a good-looking book.
Yeah, the art
Yeah.
is super cool.
We're not in Florence.
That was a little refined for us.
Too sophisticated. You're in Cleveland.
Okay.
The Cleveland Pseudo-Scientific Empire.
We're
Right.
in Necro Cleveland.
Yeah, you're all part of the society that has rebirthed Cleveland and made it a regional power, facing such terrible rivals as the Reavers out of Dayton.
Wow.
The Columbus Jaguars. Nobody knows why they're called that.
Wow, we've really headed out for Ohio in the last couple episodes.
So we've kind of buried the lead up to this point, Kyle. So what has brought all this about?
So I'm assuming the core book goes into greater detail. The quick start is pretty vague. There was some sort of event which led to reduced population. Society collapsed. And so they started using dead people to do jobs.
Yeah, in the wake of whatever it is that kept causing these deaths, corpses suddenly became the most prominent resource in the world.
So the architects, like Todd's character, refurbish bodies for manual labor.
Yeah, basically, so everything started in 2020, and shit went bad very quickly. In 2057, they started jazzing up the dead, as they say.
Yeah. Through apparently like new bioscience and steampunk technology.
Yeah.
Basically turned them into drones, which the book refers to as constructs.
Luckily, as an architect, I had 6 children to experiment on.
Good Lord.
I'm Mike Brady.
And one of the prominent details was kind of over time, some of the defining characteristics of the corpses as humans was kind of shaved down, and to where the book describes them as like mannequins with skin.
Okay, so they're tanned and shaved down now?
Well, they basically started removing the defining characteristics of these humans.
It sounds like they're trying to sexy them up. From y'all's descriptions, I don't think that says that in the book.
They do things a little differently in the Cleveland Pseudo-Scientific
Well,
Empire
okay.
than they do in Florence.
Since we did relocate it.
Makes
a little more.
In
This is in
Cleveland,
America, not Florence. We're more concerned with aesthetic.
Yeah, Meemaw got ass implants. She got that badonk.
we all take our marching orders from the giant Drew Carey golden idol that we worship in Cleveland.
I mean, you didn't, but you do now.
It's 1984, but Drew Carey is Big Brother.
So to set the scene, Cleveland obviously is drastically changed. With all the dead automatons, the constructs, it's much cleaner than it is now. But it is far less populated. There's lots of empty buildings, which are all maintained by the constructs. For example, if you live on a street, there might be a street with 10 houses might have 7 of them occupied, and that would be considered a very lively street. And it's a smaller population, so Obviously you don't know everyone in Cleveland, but it kind of feels like that. There's not 7 degrees of separation between people. For example, no matter who you are in the city, you're within 1 or 2 associations of knowing the people in charge, some random guy on the militia. It's fairly easy to walk through the connections because the population is a tenth of what it was 50 years ago.
Not counting the featureless dead things that are walking around sweeping the streets, which has all the psychological effects you would expect on a population.
Right.
Except they're hot.
Yeah. In Cleveland, yeah. It's much greener. And everybody has generally very important positions. All the mundane jobs are done by the constructs, so every living person has to take on more thinking roles, which is why you have the diverse skill set that you
Right.
do.
Lots of hair salons for the dead people
Yeah.
and things like
Lots
that.
of tanning
Right.
beds and Brazilian spas.
Yeah. Razor's really good at braiding.
Right. The bleached asshole industry is exploded.
You might say it's prolapsed.
Oh my God.
So that's your day to day. But for this adventure, which I've entitled "Getting Ahead of the Problem in Cleveland," your characters have been called to 75 Public Square, which is what passes for the current government building in Cleveland. And you're all tired, you're dirty, you're close smell of smoke because yesterday there was a major fight in Cleveland because you were attacked by the Dayton Reavers.
Oh, shit.
Those mad fools in their cars.
With their impeccable tires from
Yeah.
Dayton.
Yeah. The Dayton Reavers are basically Fury Road
Yeah.
guys, right? And they raided Cleveland, spread chaos with great difficulty. The militia and technophants like Razor from the army drove the Reavers out. But you three have been called to a meeting by Christopher Riley, the head architect of Cleveland.
Based on Patreon subscriber Christopher Riley.
Yeah. He has a vibrant beard. It's no Herc Orsman, but it's good. And you guys are in his office.
But, well, I mean, it looks extra vibrant because all the corpses are shaved.
He has corpse hair.
Right.
Yeah, that lengthens his beard.
Right.
We have a problem, gentlemen. That's what he said. That's how he opens. You're all sitting in his office, rich leather chairs. He's behind a big desk with a ridiculously large cigar.
Mike Brady is looking at the leather in the chairs going, this would look fantastic on a corpse.
Yeah, well, one of those chairs has an ear. Waste not, want not in the Cleveland pseudoscientific empire.
Wait, so they turned one of the corpses into a chair?
Yep.
Okay.
The Reavers attacked yesterday, you're all aware. Well, we got off relatively lightly. We thought it was bad, wasn't as bad as we thought. Not a lot of dead, mostly constructs. Because they have desecrated our fair city. He kind of tears up. They stole Drew Carey's head. Which, of course, the city center of Cleveland is dominated by the 20-foot tall golden statue of Drew Carey. The city's founder.
He's like the lawgiver in Planet of the Apes.
And, as far as modern Clevelandites know, the creator of all scientific knowledge, Drew Carey.
Of course.
Right. Well, you had that big wheel you could spin.
Right.
So you look out.
Invented math.
Everybody picks their scientific expertise from a hat.
And sure enough, you look past Chris Riley, out behind him, the open windows, into the great plaza beyond, and you do see the decapitated statue standing there, sadly, in the middle of the plaza. You must get it back, he says. It is a matter of Cleveland's honor. Our people can't take their great golden god not having a head. They'll lose hope.
Razor steps forward, the sunlight kind of shimmering on his scarred face. And he looks hard at the headless statue and then turns back and says, "This is a blasphemy. We must get the head back."
I agree. The militia is in disarray, so is the army, which is why I think a small team of experts, you three, can sneak into the Reaver camp and steal it back. They haven't returned to Dayton yet. They're only about 20 miles south of Cleveland.
Oh, you think you're in fucking disarray? Do you have any idea what I deal with day in and day fucking out? My son, Shim, is dead. Man, You want to know what Shim's doing right now? He's washing my fucking drawers. Because this architect brought Shim, my baby, back. And he's cleaning and mowing every day. And he does the lines in the yard just right. He's so fucking good, Shim. But he's fucking dead. And I gotta look at him. And his hair is perfect.
Shem is, of course, one of my greatest successes. Pretty proud of that one.
Well, okay. So a couple things here. First off,
I used the leather from a Lazy Boy recliner.
Noah, I'm sorry. Direct family members are not supposed to be left with their value. Supposed to go to other people.
But he makes the eggs perfect.
Like, yeah, you should have got somebody from, over on North Avenue or something.
That's an option?
That's actually the way we do it.
They told me I had to take Shim.
Well, I think the key there is Mike should not have brought Shim to your house.
They told me there was only one architect.
Now, did Mike tell you this?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm sensing a corollary to the problems here.
Oh.
All right, well, look, let's table this. You guys go get the head, and I'll go to your house, and I'll move Shim, and I'll have Gary from accounting's uncle brought over. He's beautifully tanned, and he doesn't have a face anymore. You're going to love it.
And he's also hairless.
Shim's had lip implants.
I'm so sorry.
Look, I was just trying to help out a friend.
We're going to talk about this. This is going to come up on your annual review. I'm going to be honest, Mike.
Well, I've stacked the review committee with my 6 children that I...
These fucking Nepo babies, man.
It's out of hand. Anyway, guys, let's
Or
focus.
necro babies. That's the only way I can joke anymore.
I see what you did there.
My son's dead.
No, it's all right. I don't know how we're traveling to Dayton, but if you'd like to ride in the back seat with me, I can use my soothing words to make you feel better.
I turned my housekeeper Alice into a car. We'll take that.
Jesus Christ. We have a van. It's very nice. It's electric.
Oh, all right.
So the three of you are taken down to the garage at the base of the 75 Public Square building. There's a Ford Astro van.
The pinnacle of vehicular technology.
It's just painstakingly cleaned. And there's a construct driving it.
Oh, it's my other son.
Christopher I looks at you. How many sons do you have?
0 now.
And why are they all dead?
This is Ham.
So you guys know the locations of your camp. You have your van, a driver. You know what you got to get. Are you going to make any preparations before you leave? The safety of Cleveland.
What exactly are we leaving behind? I mean, I'm just one.
I'll tell you what I'm leaving behind, man. Everything.
So you guys are just going to leave then?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Well, Noah's definitely going to go say goodbye to Shem, kiss him on his little rosy
Sure.
forehead.
All right.
He spent all that money on that concealer.
He just stares at you with his dull cow eyes.
I'll be back for you, baby boy. You just make sure the crisper gets cleaned out so good like you do.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the way you sing, baby boy.
Yeah. And he's pushing a lawnmower around the yard.
That's the driveway, but you're doing so good.
Noah actually looks like that picture of Trump yelling at the kid that's mowing.
Okay, so you guys say goodbyes to your loved ones or dead relatives.
I have no one, but that's okay. I use my soothing words on myself all the time.
Yeah, I was going to say, given Noah's state, I think that's preferable.
I am very, very scary to look at.
So you guys set out in the Ford Astro van south of Cleveland. The Cleveland pseudoscientific empire, I mean, it does not sprawl across North America. It goes a few miles outside of Cleveland to some of the surrounding villages where they have maintained infrastructure with the constructs, roads, power. But outside of that, outside of about 10 miles, you get into wilderness.
Akron.
Nobody goes to Akron.
I'm sorry, Ohio listeners.
Not even the Dayton Reavers going to Akron.
I picture Akron like that section of New York in Escape from New York where they have all the heads on spikes. And
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Except they all have Devo energy hats on.
Yeah, the world is a weird place since the apocalypse, and there's some things
Really?
that you just, you just don't go.
That's why I like this story. It's different. Most apocalypse stories, everything's fine. Yeah.
So eventually the van is going down a rough road, just loose rock, and in the distance you can see the campfires of the Reavers, no doubt. Because there's no one else out here, and that's you're going in the direction that Christopher told you to go, so it's definitely the Reaver camp. How are you guys going to approach? Now remember, the Dayton Reavers are wild, Mad Max style road warriors.
Right, mohawks and shoulder pads.
Yep.
Well, Mike Brady, being an architect and also a surgeon, has no training in steel, which I believe is the combat.
Kyle, is it possible to take Noah's other son, Ham, and send him in as a decoy to distract them?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
The constructs understand basic orders.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
They're not capable of sophisticated thought, but you
Sure.
can you say push this around, sweep. So you guys are in the back of the van. Ham turns around. Ham,
Ham,
salami,
my big boy.
pastrami.
Daddy got a mission for you.
This is distressing. This is upsetting.
Bologna.
So Noah turns to these guys and says, "Guys, I love my big boy,
This is upsetting.
but I'm willing to let one go. I've still got Shem and also have Japheth at home. He runs my social media accounts, but I can teach him to drive. Ham, big boy, go to the fire."
Ham, with herky-jerky motion of the construct, knocks the driver's side door open, stumbles out. Ham! Starts stumbling, shuffling towards the distant smoke. Bologna! He gets a little farther away. Salami!
Ham, of course, was the first corpse that I experimented with using lunch meat for its hide.
And after a while, he disappears into the distance.
So I think my plan here was basically to use him as a distraction so we could kind of flank the Reavers.
So are you guys going to slip into the wilderness?
Sure, kind of. I don't know if fully surrounding them that's not really an option. There's only 3 of us, but to kind of get around them and.
Now, look, fellas, apart from tanning the hide of corpses and preparing them for their civic duties, the only other real talent I have is eating stuff. Is there anything I can eat that will help this mission?
Mike, despite what I learned today, you can eat Ham when he's gone. That beauty mark you put on him really tied it all together.
Yeah, that was a piece of pickle pimento loaf.
So you guys can roll your stealth.
Yeah, where does that fall in this skill breakdown?
Will Austin?
So we've got, just to break it down very briefly, we've got the suit of hearts, which is flesh, the suit of diamond, which is steel, the suit of clubs, which is steam, and the suit of spades, which is gear.
So I think for that, dexterity is the closest to what we're looking for. You guys are trying to move stealthily, not stepping on twigs or stumble and fall and
Anything that fell off Ham.
yeah.
So then I have a 5 in steam,
I have a 7,
and I'm also trained in dexterity.
as am I.
As am I.
So
All
if
right,
you're
great.
So if you're trained in it, you can play 2 cards from your hand
Okay.
to try to generate at least 1 success.
So
Okay.
then are each of us making a check here?
Indeed.
So this is the first time we're playing cards from our hands.
Sweet.
Yes, and steam is clubs. And remember, we have the value success and the suit success.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I am going to play an ace of clubs, which is a suit success because that is a card of matching skill suit of any value.
Cool.
And then, Kyle, are we looking for, you were talking about multiple successes earlier. Are we looking for a certain number of successes?
Well, you need at least one to do the thing.
Okay.
But with additional successes, you can spend them on, there's multiple categories. There's persistence, accuracy, extension, or cancellation. None of those really apply in this situation. One success is sufficient. But, for example, if it was combat, you could use an extra success on accuracy to place a shot in a particular location or something.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to play my 2 of clubs for 1 success.
All right. Corey?
So I've got a 7 in my Steam, which is clubs, and I'm going to do a value success here. So I'm going to play the 2 of diamonds to make that a 9, and that's a success.
So the 3 of you are able to creep through the woods on the side of the road while Ham just construct shuffles his way into the Reaver camp.
Look at that big boy shuffle.
You guys quickly realize that the Reavers have mostly abandoned this place. There's all the smoke is coming from cook fires that have long since been put out. There's random bits of garbage thrown around. Most of the Reavers have moved on, probably back to Dayton. But at the center of the camp, towards where Ham is shuffling, there is a large flatbed truck, and you can tell from the sounds that it's having engine trouble. And on the back of the truck is a giant Drew Carey golden head. And you can hear the Reavers talking, "Gosh dang it, this truck ain't working. Come on, Kurt, get at it." You can see a big Reaver. He's got 2 mohawks. He's under the hood of the truck, pulling at things, turning things. There's a blast of steam. There's one in the cab. That was the one yelling. And there's 2 on the back, sitting on either side of the giant Drew Carey head. And none of them have yet noticed Ham shuffling towards them. "Salami!" And after a while, one of them, "Hey, fellas, look!" And one of the ones on the back of the truck stands up, points at Ham shuffling towards them. And there's a bit of commotion. They all stop what they're doing and ready their crude weapons, pointing at shuffling Ham. "Pickled beef!"
So before we take any other actions, so Kyle, do we replace the card we spent from our hand?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So we start with 6 cards, and then there's ways to replenish our hand, right?
Right. You can replenish, and you can also replace cards. So you could when you catch your breath, you can discard a card and replace it with one from the top of your deck. If you would draw one or more cards from the deck, but the deck is empty, you reshuffle the entire discard pile into your new deck and draw normally. You could push your limit and discard your last card, and that would, force you to essentially assemble a new deck.
And when do we draw cards?
You can push your limit and discard one to draw a new one. But there's also empty-handed. If you have no cards in your hand, you play blind. So you can still do something, but you draw from the top of the deck.
Gotcha.
So in order to draw any more cards, we've got to spend ones already in our hand. So we're never going to have like a full 6 again unless we're rebuilding the hand after we've spent everything.
No, because see, when you catch your breath, you discard one card, but you draw from the top of the deck until your hand is full.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Okay.
I thought we just drew one. I got you.
Sorry, no. You draw until it's full.
Gotcha.
So the Reavers have noticed Ham. They're piling out, looking at him. "What is it, Paul? It's one of them constructs." So they're pointing bows at him, crossbows. One of the Reavers comes around with a battle axe, and they're going to tear into Ham. What do you got? Are you guys going to? What's your plan?
I mean, Ham was a distraction for us to be able to flank them, is what I was going for.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, they smash into Ham, fill him with arrows. One of the big ones with the double mohawk that was called Kurt, Patreon member Kurt Stewart,
Thanks, Kurt.
is smashing Ham into the ground with his huge double-bladed battle axe.
Razor is just patting Noah's hand the entire time while we walk.
The others are laughing. "Get him, Kurt!"
How about this? Since Mike Brady is not very good at fighting,
Sure.
how about in order to create an additional distraction to give Razor and Noah a better advantage, he steps out of the shadows without saying a word, walks over to Ham, and immediately starts eating him.
Well,
I was going to say I could just start a fight and distract him while you guys stole the head.
I want to eat ham.
yeah,
Go for it.
It's my one
howdy.
talent. I have the iron stomach.
Yeah.
Mike Brady comes out of the woods, just walking towards Ham with purpose. The Reavers panic. Oh, it's a Clevelander! They're re-knocking their crossbows. Kurt Stewart shovels back a few steps, raises the battle axe. I'll brain you, boy. What does Mike do?
Mike just starts tearing into Ham as if he were a Subway sandwich. He starts eating off the top of his head and like taking bites out of his arm. He is chowing down.
That's my big boy. He was always wanted to be a cold cut trio.
This is so fucked up.
It's the post-apocalypse, Kyle.
Okay, Todd, so you could roll your manipulation to make this so off-putting that they're stunned while your compatriots move in for an ambush.
Okay, I'm trained in manipulation,
All right.
obviously.
Now, that's your special ability, right? Your
The iron stomach, yes. So I automatically succeed on all stamina skill plays against ingested toxins.
Pretty sure corpse flesh counts.
So I automatically succeed. I don't
Nice.
even have to roll.
Yeah. But you have to roll to manipulate them.
To manipulate
from
them,
the
yes.
act of doing it.
Yeah, eating the corpse is not going to kill me.
Correct.
Yeah, I will suffer no negative effects from that. Okay, so yes, I am trained in manipulation. Manipulation falls under flesh, and my flesh is a 6.
Yeah, and that is the Suite of Hearts, I believe?
Hearts. What I'm going to do is go for a value success, which is playing cards of any suit with a value of 8+. Now, I take the card and add it to my flesh score, correct?
No, I believe you need to play a number of cards with a value of the cards equal to 8 or more. Your flesh score, attribute score, or whatever, determines what's in your deck.
Gotcha.
Okay, then I totally fucked up earlier, and I apologize to everybody at Penny for a Tale.
God damn it, Corey.
Yeah, I did. I totally I thought we went off of the initial number in our skill and added to.
Oh.
I fucked up, yeah.
No, as far as I know, that is not the rule.
Well, we need to start over. My big boy's back.
Now, Todd, since you're trained in manipulation,
I can play 2 cards.
you can by default play 2 cards.
Yes. Well, it just so happens that I've got a 5 and a 3.
Boom.
So that's an 8.
That makes it sound super hard to get a value success when we play most of the time. Because if we can only play 1 card, it looks like we're relying on suit successes most of the time, right?
Well, you can play 1 card if you're untrained. If you're trained, you can play 2. And you can also push the limit. You can play an additional card by discarding something else in your hand.
Gotcha. Okay, so just burn 1 and put an extra 1 down. Gotcha.
Essentially, right. Yeah.
But there's no guarantee that the card that you draw is going to help you out. I mean, it's...
Correct.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like Uno.
Yeah.
it would be from your hand. Now, if you... it's like Uno. In this case, you've got an 8, so all of these hard-bitten, ruthless, murdering, reaving bastards are horrified. You see this giant bear of a man, Kurt Stewart, with his double mohawks, bend at the waist, just herking all over the ground. The guy in the truck, oh my God, he just ate that fella's left leg.
Oh, we didn't even say there. So there's no initiative in this game. It's just kind of however you.
For our purposes, no.
Okay.
No.
Are we safe to say that we are in position to attack at this point?
You guys had plenty of time. Yeah.
I mean,
about to say.
do you know how long it takes to eat a human body?
When Mike Brady was out there putting pieces of ham between 2 pieces of sourdough,
That he just had in his pocket.
Well, I have the one of my things I have is the Citadel leather apron. It's a status symbol of the Builders Society. And so I keep bread in there, because you never know when you might want a sandwich.
Baguette sticking out of it.
Yeah. Little
everyone wondered why.
little vinaigrette. Southwest Chipotle sauce.
Now,
Couple packets of mayo.
I feel like I should point out to our listeners, if you're not familiar with Necrobiotic, this is not standard.
This is not part of the game.
They don't. No.
Cannibalism is not a first pick.
Yeah, necrophagia is not in the game.
Right. But if you're a regular listener, hey.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
So then we leap out and attack, or at least Razor does.
All right.
As everybody's staring aghast at Mike Brady,
I mean, to be fair.
this big power suit clad soldier leaps out from behind a pile of rubble. And so this power armor that I've got has several advantages. I've got a concealed weapon in it, and I've also got a what's called a power assist.
Cool.
And I was able to pick these from my character sheet tables just to give us all an extra advantage, because I know you guys do not have combat. Is that right?
I do not.
Okay. So I have a power assist in my power armor called Flash. What this basically does is the power armor kind of opens up these little platelets and spits out what look like flares being shot off of a plane at first, but each one of those explodes in like a blinding flash of light.
Are you Iron Man?
Kind of.
Are you steampunk Iron Man?
Kind of.
Okay.
Releases a battery of vials containing a thermoreactive photogenic solution which, overheated by steam, emits a dazzling flash that blinds anyone facing the technophant.
Okay, so I would say, yeah,
Basically like throwing a flash grenade.
you could target all of them. You're going to need to make a successful ranged attack.
Now, what does that fall under? I'm assuming that's dexterity again.
Yeah, dexterity is attack at range through shooting or throwing light weapons.
Okay, now question. Do I need a success for each one of them?
No, not in this case, since they're all completely bamboozled, you don't.
Okay. All right, well then I have a 3 of clubs, giving myself another suit success.
Okay.
Like how they're just gathered around pointing. Look at that guy eating a dead feller.
Oh, look, fireworks.
Then there's this fury of explosions of dazzling light. They're all blinded. Now they're shrieking in pain from their burned out retinas.
All right, so with them effectively stunned, I want to move in and start hacking.
You can.
All of a sudden, I can see your cards, by the way. Oh, okay. This isn't poker.
Be kicking y'all's asses if it was.
Razors moving in, weapons at the ready. What is Noah doing?
Morning. No, Noah's going to use his repeating crossbow and fire at Mike Brady. No, I'm just kidding. He's going to fire at the Daytoners.
So you've got Battle Axe, Stewart out there in the front. There's a guy in the cab of the truck and 2 people on the back.
I'm going after Kurt Stewart.
Okay.
Ranged weaponry is dexterity, right?
It is.
Okay, I'm trained in dexterity, so I can use 2 cards, right?
Yes, you could.
But I will not do that. I will use a club, which is to get a success. I'm playing my 3 of clubs to get a suit success.
Gotcha. And
And my repeating crossbow does 3 damage. It's a 300-pound crossbow. What the fuck?
good lord.
Oh, 300 pounds. I guess that's the pressure.
The pull.
The pull on it. yeah.
Okay, yeah.
With compressed air reload, a lethal weapon. Sweet.
So arrows slam into double Mohawk Stewart. He stumbles backwards, not dead, but still blinded. Obviously, Noah is tackling the big one. Where, in what direction is Razor going?
Razor has a gear skill known as techno-powered combat. My power suit consumes basically charge pellets. They're described as beechwood pellets with a black coating to keep them dry. So I'm assuming these wood pellets just work like a pellet grill.
I was going to say,
and I'm running on steam power.
you have a
of some
pellet
sort.
powered armor.
Yeah. So I smell great. In fact, I'm already making Mike Brady hungry again.
Yeah, it's,
Oh.
you got a brisket in the back.
And spending one of those charge pellets lets me use the integrated weapons in my armor. And I have extrusion blades, which are 40-centimeter long double-edged blades that extrude from the forearms, fixed on the back of the gloves. They deal 4 damage and hit 2 targets in close proximity. Gives 1 success in extension. I'm not sure what that means.
Also, an extension is one of the ways you can spend successes, and I'm guessing this ability just gives you this automatically. it extends the scope of the effect, and in combat, one more target is hit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, so then it already describes that because it says it hits 2 targets in close proximity.
Yeah, so you could take out you go after the 2 on the back of the truck, or I guess hit the driver twice.
So where is the leader, Kurt?
He's not the leader, but he's out by where Mike Brady is eating ham. Because he had the battle axe. He was actually being yelled at by Viper 2-6.
You know what would make a great Patreon giveaway? A bingo card of just shit you did not expect to hear on this show. I'll say I go for the 2 guys in the back of the truck.
Okay.
So then how do I actually, is there anything I need to do to actually implement that, or do I just automatically succeed because of having that gear?
I mean, you still have to make an attack as normal.
Okay, but I'm acting from the steel skill, not from gear.
Well, I think also, don't you have like a power armor skill?
Yeah, techno-powered combat, that is a gear skill, so I guess just playing a spade, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I have
Well, if you have one.
Yeah, I have a 4 of spades, so I'll play that and give myself a suit success.
No, I mean, you're making 2 hits, so that's 2 attacks.
Oh, okay, I am.
Yeah,
I
mean,
do need to make an action for each one.
That's what my ruling is.
Okay, well, all right. Well, then I'm going to, is it push myself?
Push the limit.
Push the limit?
Yeah.
You can. Do you not have enough in your hand to get a value success?
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can draw another spade or something else to play. I just draw 1, right? Or I can refill my hand.
So push the limit, you don't get to draw from your deck. You just get to play more than...
Oh, that's right. I play more than 1. Okay, so then what I'm going to do... I've got only face cards. So I have a jack and a queen. One is associated with each of my special abilities.
Okay.
But I don't need those right now because fuck soothing words.
Sure.
And but each one of them has a value of 4. So I'm gonna push my luck by burning the ace in my hand and play both the jack and the queen and give myself a total of 8.
Now, aren't you trained in combat?
Oh yeah. So I
So
don't
you can
have
just
to burn.
Yeah, you can just keep that ace.
Okay, so then I'm playing both of those, and I've got an 8 and my second success.
So what does it look like when Razor dispatches the 2 Reavers on the back of the truck?
So a lot's happened.
Yeah, my son died.
Yeah, a long time ago. And then Mike started eating
It was Wednesday.
And then Razor
Wait,
leapt out.
That's your daughter.
Oh, well.
And then Razor leapt out and blinded these assholes. And all of a sudden, all they hear is, "Hey, watch the Brady!" And then he swings both of his arm blades in a wide circle
His arm blades. Beautiful.
and just beheads them.
Heads go flying, still screaming.
He's a cheerful soldier.
The remaining 2 Reavers, Kurt Stewart and Viper 2-6,
Patreon subscriber, Viper266. Thank you.
rub the
May
bedazzlement
not be his actual name.
out of their eyes. For Dayton! They roar. And Kurt charges at Noah, battle axe raised, arrow sticking out of him, blood streaming down his perfectly sculpted barbarian chest. He's going to try to hack you into 2. Now, in this game, the GM does not play cards, it doesn't roll dice, doesn't do anything except just describe all sorts of horrible things that happen to players. So he's going to inflict trauma on you.
Oh, okay. Not something that already existed in this character.
Now, you can play a reaction to overcome the negative consequences.
Okay.
It's basically like a saving throw from D&D.
Gotcha.
Except it's a normal one of your actions.
Okay.
So Kurt Stewart's coming at you with a battle axe. He's going to try to cleave you in twain. How does Noah respond?
I've never even been on a riverboat. So basically, I just need to figure out what skill I want to use to react to this guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Noah's going to attempt to use reasoning in this
I would.
situation.
Uh-huh.
And he's trained in reasoning. Knowing the world that he lives in, this dark, dark world where we're constantly surrounded by our dead loved ones,
Sure.
he looks directly into double mohawk Kurt Stewart's eyes and says, "Have you or anyone you know ever lost a loved one? Because I can help."
You may be entitled
Yeah.
to compensation.
I know an architect.
I thought that's where you were going.
Mesothelioma! All right. I assume you got the cards to play to make this a success.
Yeah, I'm trained in reasoning, which is my clubs. So I will play my 7 of clubs to make that a success, a suit success.
Were you trained at Camp Lejeune?
The intensity of Noah's stare makes him stumble, and the swing goes awry, landing on Ham's knee. Meanwhile, Viper 2-6 clambers up on top of the truck, sees this power armor monstrosity, pulls out this giant revolver, and just fires point blank range almost straight at Razor's head.
Uh-oh.
You can make a reaction because it will inflict physical trauma on you.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle, what's firmness?
Well, when something's not soft, what's the context of the question?
Yeah, I mean, in that case, would I just be like, "Hey," and then like flex real hard and they bounce off me?
Well, that's really more for remain firm in your purpose, like willpower.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I have a damage protection equal to 2 already because of my power armor.
Hold on. One of my gear skills is emergency pharmacology. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Mike Brady has the ability to make compounds, stimulants, drugs, or other with makeshift means. Now, I do this by spending the successes of the game freely according to this table that's on my character sheet.
Sure.
Now, with one success, I can make an energizing tonic that I can give to Razor. And the energizing tonic allows you to immediately draw 2 cards from the deck.
Oh, shit.
Cool.
It is a single-use tonic. You can only use it once. So, my gear is, of course, Spade. And
Sure.
I have a 2 of spades. It takes 1 success to do that, so I'm going to play that as a suit success and give my friend Razor an energizing tonic. So we
Kick
can.
ass. Thanks,
Could you
Todd.
do that to resurrect one of my children?
Now this is all sweet and everything, but that's a tonic, meaning some sort of liquid that he must imbibe. He's across the way on the top of a truck, and you're kneeling beside a corpse. How are you going to get it to him?
I see him like tossing me an EpiPen almost.
Yeah, if you can throw it in his mouth.
Yeah, I'm very much picturing the beginning of 2001, the bone flipping in the air, like, coming towards.
I'll let you throw the equivalent of a necrological EpiPen.
Okay. Would that be dexterity?
I think dexterity.
All right. That's clubs. I have a 3 of clubs for a suit success.
Wow.
Viper 2-6 opens fire with this gun. Bullets are bouncing off the armor. Then an EpiPen jabs itself straight into
Oh, he doesn't
Razor's
even have
neck.
to catch it.
Yeah, I was going to catch it.
Thunk.
Oh, you designed it like Frank Lloyd Wright. I can't get it open.
And he starts baning. So you draw 2 cards,
Immediately.
and you can use that on your reaction to overcome the rest of the damage.
Okay.
Probably resistance, which is resisting physical attacks, I believe.
So one of the cards I drew was an Ace of Spades, which would allow me to use my gear skill again. So what I'd like to do is deploy another round of flash flares right as he shoots at me.
Okay, so you're using your combat armor stuff.
Yeah. So that'll charge another pellet. So I'm down to 8.
Okay.
And I've got an Ace of Spades to play that.
Yeah, there's this bright flash of light as the flares go off. Viper 2-6 throws his hands up over his eyes, shouting, "No!" I guess it's Corey's turn. Kurt is still not dead.
And Kurt's still coming at me, so I'm going to use my Sonic Truncheon.
Sure. Yeah, who doesn't have one?
It's 2 damage plus stun. Upon impact, a charge of compressed air can be released, which stuns the victim.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, and does 2 damage.
I assume that's a melee attack.
Okay, my combat is in steel. I have no diamonds left in my hand.
Are you trained, though?
Nope.
Wait, aren't you militia?
Yeah.
All
I would
right.
think. So my hand is garbage right now. I have no diamonds, which
Okay.
is what I need for combat. And I don't have enough in my hand to immediately equal an 8. I've got a 4
Okay.
of spades. I can play that. So I can discard another card to play another card, right?
Correct. You can
Okay.
push the limit.
Okay. I will discard my Ace of Hearts, but my Queen's value is only 2. I've got a Queen and a 2 left, so
All right.
I can play one of those, so I'm up to 6. I need to reach 8
So you can push the limit with that final card. There's
by
nothing,
discarding it.
by discarding it, which
Okay.
means there's nothing in your hand, so you'd have to draw a blind from your deck.
Doing it.
And you need a 2 or better.
It's a 6.
Nice.
So yeah, so
Crit.
how do you kill Kurt Stewart, beloved Patreon member?
So Noah leaps to his feet in a mourning fashion.
As you do.
Yeah. Grabs his sonic truncheon and slams it up against Kurt Stewart's head, screaming, "Go Browns!" And the sonicness of it explodes his eardrums inwardly into his brain.
Imploded
Yes.
eardrums.
Yeah.
Stunning.
So yeah, Kurt's skull collapses like a balloon with all the air banks blown out.
Stunned.
He tumbles. Viper 2-6 looks around, decides discretion is the better part of valor, throws his gun down and runs.
Well, I'm going to try to kill him.
Inevitably. All players do that. Oh, the enemy's running? We butcher them.
Yeah. I don't have the cards for it, so we'll see if it succeeds or not.
Okay.
So what I'm going to try to do is like just jump up and stab him again with my arm blades.
Okay. So you can play one.
Yeah, so I've got a 4. I can play that, but I'm going to try to push myself. So I'm going to burn this ace I've got in my hand and just
Well,
draw
hold
it.
on. Pushing yourself doesn't automatically let you draw. It allows you to play more cards. So if you've got 2 cards in your hand and you can play 2, then you'd have to play 2.
Oh, okay. So I can't even push because I'm.
You could if you were
Trained in
using
combat.
a skill that was untrained.
Yeah.
So you fail. So you're jumping off the back of the truck. You vaulted off the Drew Carey head, and it goes loose, slides out, and crushes you to death.
Oh.
But don't worry, Noah and Mike Brady took the Drew Carey head back.
Okay.
I would just like to say Mike Brady slept the entire way because he was full.
So actually, in this game, to die, you have to take like 4 traumas.
Yeah.
Like those marks on your character sheet next to the actions. You could take.
Well, there's more than 4 wheels on that truck.
Yeah. You could take injury in each category, and when you fill up a row of the boxes, the fourth one, like you die or are kidnapped or something bad takes you out of the action.
Eaten.
But that is, obviously your characters succeed. You get the golden headed Drew Carey. You return it to Cleveland.
I go home to my dead son
Yeah.
and berate the living hell out of him because he didn't do my laundry right. He folded my drawers wrong. But at least I still have that alive son, Aram. And I hope to God that I don't also run him over in the driveway like I've done every son I've ever had.
Meanwhile, Mike Brady decides to celebrate his success by going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and feasting on the corpse of Kurt Cobain.
I really love the dad energy coming from Todd and I's character. It's very different dads.
Yes. Very different.
You know, parents.
Well, that is Necrobiotic.
Yeah, that's a fun game. It's
that was
definitely all of our first time playing even Kyle, which is absurd.
I've never played a
playing
diceless game.
I gotta
card
say,
game.
I had some trepidation about taking on the system, but actually, after going through it, it seems relatively balanced.
I'd
and
honestly
kind of interesting.
I would really love to play it a little more at some point, or any kind of card game to really get a feel for it, because there's a lot more you can do with it that we didn't get into.
Yeah, I can see how players could get into real trouble when they're just having to draw blind for
sure.
reactions and things.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting. I like the system, I think.
Yeah, and thanks to Holly Tremblay for sending that to us, sending it our way, making us aware of it, and that was fun.
Yeah, so check it out. You can get the PDF of the Quick Start, Necrobiotic Quick Start on Drive-Thru-RPG for $0.
Yeah, or pay what you want. If
Pay
you
what
want
you
to throw
want.
them some cash, which we recommend always. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a very alien way of playing things, but I kind of enjoyed it being that way.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
a nice change of pace for sure.
I mean, it's kind of using the system as an analog for I don't know, the mindset that you're in this like
when your son dies.
Kind of this strange world.
No, not at all. Corey.
Oh, sorry.
But if you're into steampunk, I would definitely check it out.
Yeah, the art in the book is super cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
very
good
nice looking.
steampunk style
and
art.
it's the one system where Austin is physically incapable of rolling a 1.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why Austin likes it.
When I was watching Austin shuffle, I just expected the cards to burst from his hand like 52 pickup. But yes, that was a lot of fun. We might fuck with it again. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's going to have to get in line, but
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
we've got a lot of games
stuff coming up.
to play, and maybe we'll play another from Penny for a Tale because they have another Kickstarter coming later this year, 2023, for a game called Porcelain Souls. Full disclosure, we have no idea what that's about.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to our Patreon members. There were a few featured in this episode. We did encounter Kurt Stewart and Viper26 and Christopher Riley, of course.
Yes, thank you guys, as always.
Thank you to our sponsor, Barrel and Bond.
Barrel and Bond.
No corpses are employed by Barrel and Bond.
No.
Not anymore.
Well,
There is a lot of
the
leather
bathroom,
in the bathroom.
the bathroom attendant.
But thank you to you for listening to Bastard Quest. If you like us, please leave a review on Spotify, iTunes, whatever device or app you use. We would appreciate it.
Yeah, and check us out on the social medias if you don't mind. And we do tons of crazy shit on social media. Like, we've got Austin's nudes. And we ain't afraid to post them. No, we do polls and stuff on Twitter.
Wondered what I did with those.
You sent them to all of us. You up? It said. Y'all up. I'm sorry. We're in the South.
Sorry, wrong numbers.
Yeah, get it right, Corey.
I did mean to send it to a group, but it was the wrong one.
Right.
my other orgy group.
His furries groupie.
Well, thank you for listening. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.